There's a canned meat that, the moment people see it, many immediately think of mystery meat. It's Spam. A pink block of meat inside a blue metal can has led many people to believe it's made from cheap meat scraps or ingredients that nobody wants to eat. But the truth is very different from what most people think. Spam contains just 6 main ingredients. Its manufacturing process is actually simpler than many of the processed foods we eat every day. So why has Spam been labeled as mystery meat for nearly a century? And what's really inside that iconic blue can? Spam was first introduced in 1937 by the American company Hormel Foods. It was created as a pork product that could be stored for a long time, transported easily, and eaten whenever needed. Just a few years later, when World War II began, Spam became a staple in the U.S. military's food supply because it required no refrigeration and had a long shelf life. After the war, Spam didn't disappear. Instead, it became a regular part of everyday meals for millions of families. Today, it is sold in more than 40 countries and territories, making it one of the world's most recognizable canned meat brands. Even after nearly 9 decades, Spam's basic recipe has remained almost unchanged. And the journey begins with fresh pork arriving at the factory. The journey of making a can of Spam begins with fresh pork arriving at a Hormel Foods factory, typically within 48 hours of the initial processing to ensure the quality of the raw meat. At the factory, the pork is inspected before the bones and excess fat are removed. However, some of the fat is intentionally retained, so the meat blend contains about 20% fat. This ratio is essential because too little fat would make Spam dry and crumbly, while too much would result in a soft, greasy texture. Carefully controlling the balance of lean meat and fat from the very beginning ensures that every can of Spam has the same consistent texture and flavor. What many people don't realize is that Spam is not made from meat scraps or mechanically separated meat, despite the rumors. Instead, it is made primarily from pork shoulder and ham. Once the meat has been prepared, it moves on to the grinding process. Once the pork has been prepared, it passes through 2 grinding stages, a key step that creates Spam's distinctive texture. During the first stage, the meat passes through a coarse grinding plate with holes about ½ an inch in diameter. This cuts the meat into small pieces while preserving its natural structure. As a result, when you slice a can of Spam, you can still see small pieces of meat throughout the loaf instead of a completely smooth texture like pâté. The meat is then ground a second time through a finer grinding plate with holes about 1/4 of an inch wide. This produces a portion of finely ground meat that acts as a natural binder, helping hold the larger meat pieces together into a uniform mixture. By combining these 2 grinding stages, Spam remains firm enough to hold its shape when sliced, while staying tender and juicy after cooking. The ground meat is then transferred to the mixing stage, where the remaining ingredients are added. The ground meat is transferred to a large industrial mixer, where it is combined with the remaining ingredients to create the Spam recipe that has stayed almost unchanged for decades. Salt is added for flavor and to help preserve the meat. Water keeps the mixture moist during cooking, while a small amount of sugar balances the saltiness. Potato starch absorbs excess moisture, giving the finished product a more stable texture. The final ingredient is sodium nitrite, which helps prevent the growth of certain harmful bacteria and preserves Spam's signature pink color after cooking. That's the complete recipe for Spam Original: pork and ham, salt, water, sugar, potato starch, and sodium nitrite. There are no artificial flavors, no emulsifiers, and no mechanically separated meat, despite what many people believe. After the ingredients have been thoroughly mixed, the meat mixture is automatically pumped into cleaned metal cans and sent to the filling line. A precision dosing system carefully controls the amount of meat in each can, ensuring that every product contains about 12 ounces, 340 grams. Maintaining this exact fill weight not only keeps every can consistent, but also ensures that the heating process in the next stage remains uniform across the entire production batch. The filled cans are then transferred to an automatic lid seaming machine. Before the lids are completely sealed, most of the remaining air inside each can is removed, creating a nearly oxygen-free environment. This helps reduce oxidation while minimizing changes in flavor, color, and overall product quality during long-term storage. Next, the lids are secured using a double seam, a specially engineered seal that tightly locks the lid and the can body together. This strong, airtight seam is designed to withstand the high temperatures and pressure inside the retort without leaking or losing its seal. In fact, the metal can serves as more than just packaging. It becomes the cooking vessel itself during the next stage. From here, the sealed cans are loaded into large retort chambers where the meat is fully cooked and commercially sterilized. Once sealed, the cans are loaded into large retort chambers where they are heated to about 250 degrees Fahrenheit for nearly 90 minutes under approximately 15 pounds per square inch of pressure. This ensures the meat is cooked evenly, while destroying microorganisms that could spoil the food. Because Spam is sterilized only after the can has been completely sealed, no outside microorganisms can enter afterward. Combined with the airtight double seam and the nearly oxygen-free environment inside the can, this process allows unopened Spam to remain shelf-stable for years without refrigeration. Once opened, however, it should be refrigerated like any other cooked meat product. Of Spam's 6 ingredients, sodium nitrite is by far the most controversial. It is a common food additive used in many cured meats, including bacon, ham, sausages, and salami. Sodium nitrite does more than preserve Spam's signature pink color after cooking. It also helps prevent the growth of certain dangerous bacteria, making cured meats safer during storage. Some studies have found that regularly eating large amounts of processed meat may increase the risk of certain health problems. However, this isn't unique to Spam. Sodium nitrite is also found in many other processed meat products that people eat every day. So, the debate isn't really about Spam itself. It's about how much processed meat we consume overall. Do you usually read the ingredient list before buying food? Let us know in the comments. Spam is often debated not only because of its ingredients, but also because it is a processed meat. In fact, ingredients and preservation methods such as sodium nitrite and heat sterilization are commonly used in many other processed meats, including sausages, deli meats, and canned meats. What makes Spam different is its relatively short ingredient list, which draws more attention to what's inside. Nutritionally, Spam provides protein, but is also high in sodium and fat, so it is not a food that should be consumed frequently or in large amounts. Rather than judging Spam in isolation, it is more meaningful to evaluate all processed meats by the same standard, considering their ingredients, nutritional value, and how often they are eaten, rather than relying solely on the image of its iconic blue can and the mystery meat nickname that has followed Spam for decades. Few people realize that the biggest consumer of Spam in the United States isn't Minnesota, where it was created. It's Hawaii. Every year, people in Hawaii consume nearly 7 million cans of Spam, averaging about 5 cans per person, the highest per capita consumption in the country. Spam first arrived in Hawaii during World War II, when it was supplied to U.S. troops, because it could be stored for long periods without refrigeration. After the war, instead of disappearing, it gradually became part of the local food culture. Today, Spam can be found everywhere, from convenience stores and supermarkets to many fast food restaurants. One of the island's most famous dishes, Spam musubi, a slice of grilled Spam served with rice and wrapped in seaweed, has become an iconic Hawaiian food. A can of Spam is made from just 6 familiar ingredients, yet it has carried nearly a century of debate and misunderstanding. What makes it remarkable isn't just its ability to stay shelf-stable for years, it's how a product can be judged by its appearance, its name, and the stories passed down over generations. Perhaps after this video, the real question is no longer whether Spam is truly mystery meat. Instead, it's whether we judge all processed foods by the same standard. Sometimes, the most reliable place to look isn't the rumors, it's the ingredient list printed right on the package. If you'd like us to explore more manufacturing processes and uncover the truth behind other everyday products, leave your ideas in the comments. Your suggestion might inspire our next video.